That's okay, Renata. We'll adjust my lighting later.
There you go.
Thank you. Now you've sat... That's what it is. You're sitting in front of my light. She's hiding... She's trying to hide my shine.
Hello everyone and welcome to Q&A Monday. Now remember, this is not tarot night. We will not be answering your tarot questions.
This is not tarot night. Just saying it again.
Oh, this is not tarot night.
This is not tarot night.
We will not be answering your tarot questions tonight.
This is where we pretend to know things.
Yes.
What did we say the other day?
We share knowledge.
We share knowledge and we know things. Or we ghost hunt and we know things. Supposedly.
Apparently,
Maybe not.
Apparently. Well, we can add to the conversation. Let's say
we
that.
can
add to the conversation.
We need cornflakes to come out with those little degrees you can get in a cornflakes box again. Remember you used to be able to get a degree in a cornflakes box?
No.
Okay. That finger is in my ear again.
Do you want to change sides?
No, that upsets everyone. If we go on to wrong sides, the whole internet blows up. Oh, I do have something to show you though. Can I go and collect them and you talk to people?
Yeah.
I'll be 2 seconds.
Okay. Let's talk about her now that she's gone. So how has your week been, everyone? Give us a thumbs up if your week's been okay and a thumbs down if your week's been shitty. We have had a very interesting week. We've had lots and lots of different opportunities and different things turn up for us, which we have said yes to. And it's been absolutely excellent with regard to meeting new people and getting some new friendships going and making more connections. So it's been really, really good. And sometimes the things that kind of bring you down or that you feel that you might be missing out on or that seem to be taken away from you end up actually working out okay. And there is always a silver lining somewhere. And we've hit a few silver linings this week. So I guess the important thing is to always remember that not everything that you think initially may be not nice turns out being not nice. Sometimes it turns out being awfully good in the most unexpected ways. Everyone's had a bad week. Everyone's had a bad week. That's awful. Come on.
We've actually had an amazing week. That's what I was saying. Exhausting, absolutely exhausting, but it's phenomenal. So look, what I've been doing is, because we can't travel, I've been going back through my photos and finding some of my favourite photos from our trips, and then Snapfish had a special on canvases, and they were 75% off, so I bought some. And look. Oh, you remember that?
So spoilt by that face down in the corner. Beautiful.
So where is it?
That is at Whitby.
Yes, very good.
Underneath the cathedral there. And that is the cathedral that is well known for the stories of Dracula.
Yes. All right, this one.
Is that face on all of them?
Yep.
That's an arch.
You like that arch?
Oh, I can't remember where that
Can you
arch
remember
is.
which country?
Ireland.
It is.
It's Ireland.
And
we had a nice big hot coffee after that,
right.
didn't we?
And they had a cemetery there and some towers.
Oh, yeah.
And it was called?
No idea.
Glendalough.
Oh,
Glendalough.
Right. Glendalough.
Yes. Then we go.
That was awesome. Awesome place.
This is where Renata learned to sit in a cupboard.
No, the collage.
The Arthur Findlay collage. All right, where we went and trained and we did some workshops on channeling and what was it? I can't remember.
Mediumship.
Mediumship. A bit of mediumship.
We didn't get a certificate.
No, they didn't give us a certificate.
No.
But we have the memories and.
Oh, that's a nice one. That's from the Pioneer Village.
Australiana Pioneer Village.
Australiana Pioneer Village. I like that one.
And that was when we were filming with Isaac, so that's why I got that one, because it's such good memories and such joy. I got It
York.
It was the only way I could get those buildings in up the back, so you could just see me doing this.
The Shambles in York. Awesome place.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome place. God, I miss those places
I know.
so much.
But that's why I've got them, because I look up on the wall now and I go, oh my God, we've been so blessed with the amounts of places that we have travelled. Now this one's my favourite, and I'm sure you're all going to love this one because it's so wrong in so many ways.
Yeah, who would have thunk? Who would have thought that would have been right? Yeah.
Those should be black wigs.
So far from the truth, isn't that?
So there you go. That's all going on my wall of memories. And
Good thing you got a long hallway, Anne.
I do. Roman's actually said to me, do you want me to start putting it down the hallway? And I said, not yet. There will be more coming that we put it down the hallway. So, let's get on. I noticed that Linda said here, what is your favourite piece of equipment? Well, it's changing. It's morphing as we try different things. I now like Ramada. What's your name again? Who are you?
The old chick.
I'm enjoying the parabolic ear. After we used it at...
We've had some really interesting results from the parabolic ear.
I can't show it to them. It's up the hallway somewhere. So it's like a parabolic dish. So think of a radar dish, a round dish, and it's got a little microphone in the centre of it, like a flower stamen. And it's got this trigger thing hooked up to it. And you hook headphones into it. You press the button, and it amplifies the sound that is all around you. It picks up on it. And we've been doing call and response sessions where we'll ask a question and we wait for a response. And we've been hearing shit. So we always talk about the fact it shows up on digital recorders, and that they somehow or other impress their voice onto the file. But maybe it's we just can't hear it with our own ears, and they're actually there, and this is amplifying it. Isn't that an interesting thought?
Yes.
So, hello Parastalkers, Paralurkers. I hope you liked my little comment for the setup for today. I thought it was quite funny. I amused myself. And look, here's one of our lovely people from the paranormal community, Australia's Capture Paranormal. Make sure you pop over to their page, give them a thumbs up and say who are we? Anne and Renata sent you.
And if you are part of a paranormal group or team and you are here, put up the link.
Yeah, who are you? We'd love to know who you are. We'll give you a shout out.
Whether you're here in Australia or overseas, if you are part of a paranormal team
well done, Natalie.
Then please put up a link to your team so that we can share.
You're not wrong, Craig. Oh, and it was lovely to meet you in person as well. Wallamombai. Did you enjoy the parabolic ears that we were just talking about? Yeah, they are good pictures.
And we saw the most beautiful wedding dress at Wallambai. A family shared a relative's wedding dress with us to use as part of an experiment, and it was the tiniest thing that I have ever seen.
I think not my left thigh, but my left calf would have fit into it.
Anyone who would have been so tiny, just like, honestly, it was like this big.
Sorry, I'm just getting that up in case the...
How that woman ever had any children, I don't know. She was tiny.
Okay. Hi, Shanae. Hang on, I've got to say it the right way. Shanae. Hey, Wendy. And here's another one, Paranormal Chaos. Hello, how are you? I think that's Linda.
No, we cannot. We do not sell them. JB Hi-Fi may have them, or you may have to look them up.
I would stock them, but they're a bit big to post, and I think the postage ends up costing a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Hey, Azra, thank you so much for sharing us. I hope you are well. And
Azra's a local.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Susie, we don't sell the Ovilus. The only way you can buy the Ovilus is from Bill Chappell's store, which is Digital Dowsing in America. I think he's still selling to other countries. Sometimes he will reduce it just to Australia, just to America. But shout out to Bill. Hi. I think Australia Capture Paranormal asked us about Oh, yeah. Yeah, our greatest experiment at the moment. And that sort of answered that question. It's the parabolic here. We actually have a way that we hook up several people to listen to the feed at one time. So we had 2 parabolic ears going with 12 or 13 people listening on it. It was really cool.
And no, don't listen to your neighbours.
No, don't. Especially with what goes on in this house. You would all be mortified.
We never told you that. Never told you that.
What was that? I have one. Haven't used it yet, but I tried one at Arradale. Oh, cool. Oh, here we are. Susie, Psychic Medium. So Susie D. Welcome, Susie D. And pop over to her page and say hello. Oh, and yes, we've got our Tobago House coming up. And Jenny is part of CASPA, CASPA. And hopefully Clive will put up that link. Oh, which one? Which one do you like, Todd? Mine's needs coffee. Yours looks pretty cool too. When are you coming to Melbourne? Oh my God, we'd love to, but I think we might get lynched at the moment.
Not anytime soon.
Not at the moment. We're in Tasmania as of Sunday. So we'll be in Launceston having a good time.
Yes, so please, guys, just keep an eye out on lives and on our shenanigans in Tassie. We are going to go to a few places that are allegedly a little haunted, or at least historic. We're going to try our best. We have tried to contact a few places there, and they have really told us no, you can't come in. And some of that is because of the COVID restrictions, but 1 or 2 places have refused us entry because of other paranormal groups that have been there before and may not have followed their rules or their regulations on the site, and so they now prefer not to let anyone on, which is a little bit of a shame.
It's easier for them to just say
it is.
No to everyone.
A blanket no.
Which is sad, but I respect that.
Yeah, we can't sort of just be special just because we're going.
Well, we are special, but you know,
we'll just stand out the front and go, oi!
We'll stand out the front and go.
Yeah, that's not going to do anything.
No. All right, so shout out to Michelle and her team at Site. So that's Sydney Investigation Ghost Tours. Another great team. Now the SLS X-Cam, yes. I have an SLS and mine's playing up at the moment. I've got to send it back to Bill to get fixed. So there's 2 versions. You've got the homemade bodgy job, which is using the guts of the Xbox Connects and hooking it up to a monitor, and they're quite big and cumbersome, aren't they?
Yes.
You had one.
Yes, and the parts of it kind of, unless it's all really tied together really well and made really well, number 1, you've got to try and put it in something, and number 2, it tends to fall apart while you're using it. And the idea with an SLS too is that the more stable you can keep it, the better off you are going to have a result. So really, you're not supposed to be walking around with it.
It's meant to be on a tripod.
It's meant to be on a tripod, still in one space, and getting your readings from that.
And if it's used well, and you understand the false positives you can get from an SLS, I think they're amazing. Emma did point out once that we worked out that if you have an IR light behind you, casting your shadow against a wall, then the SLS will look at that as a human figure and map it as a stick figure. So that is one of the false positives that you can get from them. But and also anything that looks even slightly humanoid, it will start to map in as a human or some sort of stick figure. So if you've got a chair that's sort of got a round top of it and sort of comes down, it will map that as a person. It's not a ghost sitting on the chair.
So what do you think would be the best place to use an SLS? As in, what background would you suggest would be a good background?
Uncluttered as possible.
So
on a tripod,
a flat wall,
and not too close. That's another thing people make the mistake of. They get too close, because I remember when we had Bill Chappell with us up at Q Station, and people were in a room. He said, "No, you're too close. It's going to get false readings from that." So, and also the proper SLS actually has a lot more built into it than the standard bodgy ones that can be made. I say bodgy, but it's just because they're a copy of the one that Bill's made. And I think some people had created them before Bill did, but Bill really refined it. It's a bit like the Spirit Box. Gary Galka refined it, but he didn't necessarily invent the original one. That was Frank Sumption. So he's also built in mapping, so it lets you know what the temperature is, how far away objects are from you. It also includes way more IR lights than what your standard one does, so that it gives you better readings. It also cost me $2,000 to get into Australia, but when I use it, I love it. Sorry, I'm rattling on, and the feed's just jumped.
So there was one question there about the witching hour, and what do we think about the witching hour? It's one of those mythological things that has been talked about for a really long time. This 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. Sometimes the witching hour could be looked at as midnight. Sometimes the witching hour can be looked at as just 3 a.m. in the morning. So as many stories as there are about it, as many times it seems to change and be a little bit different. So again, it really depends on what you have learnt and where your information has come from. And does it truly exist? Well, again, it depends on your belief system and whether things start working for you at that time. We tend to program our brains with whatever we want them to believe, because this is just a supercomputer, and the supercomputer will only push out the information that you give it. So depending on what information you give it is what will be transposed and pushed back out into your environment. So if you've been hearing that the witching hour and all ghosts seem to come alive between 1 and 3, you're going to be up and about and waiting for that to happen. With being awake around that time, all it takes is to be awake once or twice, and then you're... We're still here.
I touched something. Sorry, guys.
So all you really need to do is be up once or twice at that time, and your body will start to go, oh, she's up. She must like being up around this time. And you start to program that time in, and you tend to then wake up at that time a lot because there's part of your brain saying there's a reason why you're getting up. We can program our brains to get up at a particular time in the morning even without the alarm on, if you try hard enough and if you do it a few times.
And I'm having the problem at the moment is that I've had now 4 or 5 nights bad sleep in a row, so I'm starting to get anxious about going to bed, and therefore I'm causing myself not to fall asleep because I'm anxious about the fact I'm not sleeping. So that's all in my head.
Yes, it is.
Can't tell that I've had very little sleep because I still look fucking fabulous. The matchsticks are holding open eyes. Now we had another question. I apologise for the dropout of the feed. I've lost it.
It wasn't me.
And it's gone now. But somebody was asking about what was the best sort of camera to use for ghost hunting, and about lights as well.
We had an awesome light on the weekend, an awesome red torch. It was super.
I may or may not have it here.
Oh, it was so good. I really enjoyed walking around with it.
And we're going to be stocking these. I just have to buy them. I wanted to get some to try them first because you just never know the amount of...
Where's your air conditioning thing, Anne? I'm getting hot.
Oh, she's getting hot. Probably over the back on the table behind me. I'll move forward. You go behind me.
Sorry.
That's okay. Anyway, for night vision...
Oh, bless. Oh, it's nice and cold back here.
You need an IR modified camera, a camera that is modified to look into the infrared spectrum. They talk about full spectrum cameras, which is your IR and your UV. So what it is we're used to our red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, which is what our eyes can see with normally. But these cameras allow you to see further into the red spectrum, further into the violet spectrum by going into infrared. Well, it's actually near infrared and near ultraviolet, but you need special lights to illuminate those spectrums within that field. The problem is it does wash out other colours, so you don't end up with natural looking light anymore. So if you want to stay dark when investigating, or as close to dark as you can get, then you use an IR modified camera. You can use a full spectrum camera, but just use IR lights with it, so it won't pick up anything in the UV because you don't have that special light on, but it has the capability of it. And then if you want to photograph during the daytime, you would use the just a full spectrum camera which can see into those other spectrums, and it's just thought that maybe the spirits can... their vibrational energy is in that part of the spectrum rather than our visible spectrum, which is why we can't see them. And there has been great photos caught, not a huge amount, but there's not a huge amount of paranormal evidence. I mean, people take photos of lights and seem to think that that is something paranormal, and it's not. It's just a light that's popping over the top of, I don't know, a headstone or something, and you think...
You got to learn about it though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And anyone seeing a photograph where something looks a little bit weird or
you've
odd,
got to allow self-criticism, or...
you may possibly think that it is something paranormal, but also if you're sending it to someone to have a look at, please, please, please do not get angry.
Don't get pooey.
When they say to you, it's actually not paranormal, it's created by this, or this.
So this is the big red torch I had the other day, and when it got sent to me, I didn't have any batteries. It takes those really weird batteries. So I had to get those, and then I had to get a charger for it. So what I'm going to do is put together a little package that contains the batteries and the charger, so that it's just easier. I don't want you guys to go through what I had to go through, but the amount of light that this produces is just astounding. And that's what Renata was using that in her feed the other night. In the dark, no other light apart from that, and it was brilliant.
Yeah.
It's just a red light, and red torches are hard to find. Why do we use red? It looks fucking cool, but also it doesn't ruin your night vision.
And sometimes, and what I was noticing and what I mentioned in the feed, in the live feed when I was on, was that if you look down into your torch, you actually don't see any light coming up. So again, it doesn't disturb your night vision. It's all right.
I'm just getting ready to answer a question there. I just saw a good question.
Which is really good, because sometimes that reflective light from your torch in your eyes, when you're in the dark, it's really hard to watch where you're going anyway. And that's one of those important things that you have to look after, that you don't drop into a hole or put your leg through broken timber or anything. So having a red torch that can actually visually see really well and into the distance is absolutely awesome and gold. The other thing that we did notice was that the red light will sometimes not be able to pick up on wording or anything that is reflective. So you may have difficulty actually picking up on wording. What we found as we were walking around and the light was hitting some of the headstones, we couldn't actually see the lettering on the headstones. So that was something that
we can see with our own eyes at the time, but it doesn't show up on camera too well.
No, it doesn't
so the next question I have here from Australians Capture Paranormal, and thank you guys, you are asking such awesome questions tonight, is what is the difference between a real K2 and a fake K2? So Oz Paratech sells the real ones, and yes, they are more expensive than the ones you can buy on Wish and those other places, or on eBay, or some Australian stores that are selling them. there is a huge amount of difference. So the biggest one, which is the most obvious one to see, is you can see this one here has little lines. Can you point to where those lines are, Renata, on the side? It's that one there. So you can see those little lines. Just point to on the very outside. There's little fine lines there. I'll see if I can get it closer, but normally it just goes out of focus. And sorry about the fact that we're getting the green that's missing there, but you can't see. But that one doesn't have it. You can see that it's a very different. You can see the difference between those. Also on the back of them, they will try to copy. Sorry, I've pulled it to pieces, so that's on. You can't see on the back. All right, I'll show you the insides now. So this is the real one. This is the fake one. The fake one. I need light on it. That's what is missing. I need a bit of light. Here, if I give you my. Where's a torch?
Where's a red torch?
There we go. Hold on to that. So if you you're facing the screen. That's why you've got to face. Oh, right. For fuck's sake! I don't know if that's going to work, but you can see that that's just blank, whereas this one has shit tons, and it's because it's got a green plate on it, so you can't see. But then you go inside it, and I'm pulling my K2s apart for you. I hope you appreciate that. Right, so hold that one. This is the real one. Hope you guys like this. And this is the fake one. So just turn it on its side. So see how mine is on clear plastic thin straws, and Renata's is built onto a solid plastic moulded base. That's one of the biggest things, and you will find that these start to bend and pop back into your casing. There's also markings on that one there somewhere. That was not my arse, it was the chair, but it sounded like a fart. It was fabulous. There's markings on there as well that say DAS, not DAS, was it?
It does say K2 USA down the bottom.
That's it. So it's got the K2 Enterprises.
So K2 USA right down the bottom here. And you probably won't be able to see it.
This one doesn't have it. So the other thing with them is that this one, the fake one, is not calibrated. So it's just thrown together and may or may not work with EMF, or it might go off all the time or hardly go off. Or, so they're just completely different. And like, you have a drop, a speck of solder rather than a good solid drop. So it just disintegrates so much quicker. I'll put those together later. But that gives you an idea. I've been wanting to do a whole episode on them because there is so much. I asked DAS for information about the difference between the two, and they sent me so much information. Yeah, so they're referring to the Connects. So what do we think of Snapchat filters as a cheap ghost hunting tool?
What?
I like the Snapchat filters to make silly photos of myself and send it to people. Yes, I do believe it can map animals. I've seen it map what looked like a dog. It seemed to put its paws up on the side of a table, and these people, their dog had only passed that week, so it had a lot of relevance.
Awesome questions, guys.
Yeah, my God, you guys
really
are so
awesome.
good. Thank you so much.
Book recommendations on scrying.
Yes. So I've been doing a course on...
Watch us stand up and try and go through all of the books.
Doing a course on scrying from the Centre of Excellence, and I can thoroughly recommend that. They always have a special on. Never ever pay full price for it, but I have it up here, I think. And I always order the book because I like to refer back to it. I've got a few of the courses ready to go. Hang on, which one's that? Oh, that's it. Got it first go.
But is there a booky book? Like a book?
Yeah, so this is like some of the things that it covers on there. What is scrying, a brief history of scrying, and I'm up to the very last question, so there are some good books. Raymond Buckland puts out a whole heap of good books. I will find the actual names of them because I don't have them handy, and I will put them up later for you, Ivy. Just be careful of the wires. Smell in a dream. I was woken from a dream by a smell. Oh, bad smell. I thought it was a bad smell heart. I'm thinking, what's a smell heart? I'm just not with it. Yeah.
Kelly, have you asked this before? Did you ask?
I don't remember it.
Last week we had someone asking about a smell last week, and I'm going to answer it the same way that I'm answering it for you. It can be part of the dream that you are smelling something. And that has already made your heart race and heart start to palpitate, because within your dream you are finding that you are in some form of fear, or it has triggered something for you. You may be waking up because there is a bad smell, but you would have to smell the smell once you've woken up. Other than that, if the smell is not there and you're asleep in the dream, the smell is part of the dream. It's not really that common to smell things in dreams, but that might be one of the super senses that you have, and you might be really, really good at smelling things. So consider that, whether you tend to pick up on scent and smells.
They talk about the clairs, like clairsentient and clairaudient. So there is one for smell. I can't remember which one it is, but that might be your gift. Sorry. Digital. I'm not sure. Paranormal Chaos, the K2s you can buy from me. Digital doesn't make them, but I'm not sure if you're talking about the SLS X Cam. If they're not making them, then I don't know, because they're the people that make the ones that I love. I'll have a quick look on here to see if he's got any up. I can ask him.
The problem with those is postage. Postage is just so extremely expensive, and then they hold it over.
Yeah, and you've got to pay your GST on, because they will hold it, and you've got to also explain to them what it is and why. He actually doesn't have a lot on his store at the moment. Sorry. He's got the Ovilus, the Paranormal Puck, the Energy Speaker, and the EVP. So he doesn't seem to have them there. Sorry. I will ask. I'll check in with him. Hang on, I'll ask him now.
Claire Smellient. Thank you, Susan. Well done, Claire Smellient.
Hey, Bill.
So we do have a couple of things coming up, guys. Just waiting if anybody else has some questions. We have our Grosman House and Bruff House tour this weekend on Saturday night. So if you are interested and you are local, please come along and support Grosman and Bruff House. All of these amazing places work on the good charity and assistance from volunteers and people who come and do tours at these places. So every time we do a tour at a National Trust house or anywhere we actually do a tour, a lot of the money goes back to that site, and it helps and assists these places to keep going. So we actually do a lot of fundraising for these people in doing our tours. So yes, so we've got that one coming up. Our Tombago House tour is now fully booked. So you can't get in on that one. And we have our Stroud tour coming up shortly in Stroud. We have a couple of other tours coming up. Of course, the Gold Mine tour, the one out at Gloucester, that is coming up next month. And we have 2 dates, a Friday night and a Saturday night.
I love it.
Very much awesome last time we did it. Very much awesome in the deep dark forest.
When you're asking, and is there anyone in there? And you hear, yep, yes.
Yeah, it's good.
From a locked up gold mine.
And of course, we've got the Dubbo Ghost Tour coming
Dubbo
up in
Jail. I love this because we get to go away.
May. Yes.
Okay. Where's the best place to sit and use an SB7 by yourself? Are you going to use it with headphones? Because if you use it with headphones or the earbuds that it comes with, you can use it just about anywhere. And do you know, everyone, there's a brand new SB7T out. They've replaced the SB7, and it's got the new one has a temperature sensor and a little flashlight built into it. So, oh, hiccups. It's brilliant. Anywhere really, and it doesn't need to be a haunted location. It can be anywhere. I normally try to set my intention before I start a personal session and just say, I'm here to make contact to my loved ones, the spirit of the house, whoever it is that's trying to make contact with me, so that you let them know you don't want just random shit, you're after specific conversations.
But also just be aware that if you start doing this at home and you freak yourself out, then there could be a bit of an issue, because you are in that house, and it can either become something that you get very addicted to and you're continually on it because you're trying to listen to voices, because you're trying to sort out whether there is something haunted or not.
I remember an episode of Ghost Lab where a lady just kept recording and she was creating the entity.
Or you might never do it again. So if you are starting off, then probably the best thing is to take it away from home and find somewhere that is nice and quiet, because again, you don't want to be sitting there listening to an SB11 somewhere where a lot of people are walking past and going to look at you and go,
who's that weirdo?
What are they trying to do? And don't trespass. Don't go anywhere you're not supposed to.
I know we keep banging on about that, but guys, it's so important.
Yes. We have a lot of insurance.
Oh, Bronwyn, you gave us an angry face. She's apologising. It's okay. Why are some people... Thank you, Lorna, for the question, and thank you for sharing. Why are some people more likely to get paranormal attachments than others? That's a really good question.
It can be because of many things. Now, remember, the stronger you are, the less likely attachments will attract themselves to you. It's like, think about it as going to a bar and you're sitting on one drink, right? And you're observing everyone that's around you, and you know exactly what's going on, and you know when to move away because trouble's coming, right? Now, another person in that bar has had 5 drinks. They're awfully exhausted. They might have drugs in their system. They might be really tired, overworked. They might be depressed. They might be anxious, angry. They may have had big arguments, or their home life is not very settled. The likelihood of someone coming up and starting to chat to them because they've got a sign on their forehead that says, I'm vulnerable, is more than likely to happen. So you've got to think of it in the same way. Always just be aware that when you're approaching doing paranormal work, you have to be working on your own resilience first. So never go in when you are feeling super vulnerable, or you've had a massive argument at home, or there's someone close to you that's really, really, really ill. You're just in a vulnerable place. You're emotionally just really vulnerable. Heightened emotions. It's not a good place to go to, somewhere where there can be some really weird activity when you are in that sort of state of mind. So that is probably why some people are more likely. There are some people that love to have attachments.
They feel special.
And even though they'll say, oh, I've got an attachment, or I've picked up an attachment, are they doing any work not to have that happen?
And is it an attachment, or is it a guide, or someone who's trying to help you, or is it their imagination, where they've all of a sudden focused on something that's possibly happened, and then any little thing that happens around them, which would normally happen, is attributed to someone else? Now, I just want to attack this one, Renata. Potterledge Peter, thank you for your question. Yes, you certainly did. We were at the cemetery of Wollombi the other night, and we are so lucky to be there, aren't we?
Yes.
Such a supportive town of what we do and their history.
Yes. So we actually have permission to be at that cemetery, and the township knows we are at that cemetery, and we offer that information when we have the tour description, and we also tell people Potterley Peter that we actually take flowers and we pay our respects to people who have been at that cemetery and buried for a really long time, and no one ever comes to visit them anymore. So what we say to people is, before they enter, that we are so grateful for having the opportunity to work with the spirits that are here at Wollombi, that now we are actually going to go into the cemetery and pay our respects and say a prayer for those that are buried there and send our goodwill. And it always ends the night on a really great high. We feel so amazingly rejuvenated and happy. It's like everything's taken away. We've done our little bit and contributed for the spirits having been part of the evening with us. So it's awesome. So I always get flowers, and we give everyone a flower. They walk in,
and it's interesting how people, like we say, go to where you're drawn to, and people will often find a name that's related to their family, or a birth date that's related to their birth date, and there's all these connections. And we had a really special night Saturday night because we had the three sisters who were the founding families of Wollombi, and so they were showing us all the history of the graves and the people, and I've got goosebumps just talking about it. Such a beautiful night.
It was awesome, but we do have special permission to be at the cemetery. And one of the things people do have to understand is that after hours, if you are going on a cemetery site, you may be called up by security that comes there.
There are some that have rules.
Yep. You are not supposed to be on the site.
It's actually in New South Wales. There are some cemeteries that are on Crown land, and the rule is that you cannot be in there after sunset or before sunrise. So you have to abide by those rules. That's the correct thing to do. But there's always someone who'll break those rules and go and do the wrong thing, and then they ruin it for not only the people who have loved ones buried there, but just for the community.
And we do, one more thing, we do offer a little bit of advice too. If you're going out on a cemetery, then it's really good to know the terrain, because there are dips and holes. Sometimes, as you love to tell the story, is that they actually set traps for rabbits or poison. So you can really get yourself into issues by going out. And also, if you take any photographs, do not take the photographs of the names.
No, never show the names.
Especially, I mean,
or blot them out. You can just blot them out.
Look, there are cemeteries where headstones are hundreds of years old. And like we go to Norfolk Island, and we've taken photographs of the headstones there that are really historic and amazing. But at Norfolk Island, they love you to share that as well, because it's part of that historical part of the island. But normally, stay away from actually taking photographs of headstones if they're not yours, if they're not your family.
And Brent, yes, you are correct. So all it is that they take out the filters in the normal cameras that stop you seeing into the extra part of the standard spectrum, which is why I refer to it as near infrared or near ultraviolet. It's not true infrared or true ultraviolet, because that's just heat. So but it allows you to see a little bit further into what we normally can't see.
Great questions.
Yeah, awesome questions.
Absolute good questions. Fantastic.
Jess, in all honesty, I don't know much about star seeds. Maybe Christy can help you with that. I think that might be more of a spiritual thing than it is a paranormal thing.
Yes, absolutely.
So, sorry, that is not my field of expertise, but we will find someone who can hopefully give you some answers on that. Maybe one of our community can do that.
Yep.
As I said, we're not experts in everything at all.
And Jess, I think what you're also talking about are the Akashic records, but really,
yes,
really
Akashic.
close.
Yep,
really close.
It's
Awesome.
all right. We can translate that.
Yeah.
Let me scroll down a little bit because I think there's a lot of questions and I've missed them. Right. Did you have a paranormal experience as a child? Something that influenced become paranormal investigators?
Yes.
Yep.
And have you guys been watching that show on Netflix called Surviving
Death?
The last episode I actually watched today, and that was all about reincarnation and children that have come back with this memory of another life, and it must be really scary for some parents whose 2 or 3 year old child kind of comes up with "You're not my mummy."
Yeah.
And my name was this.
Yeah,
and they were showing a particular professor who was testing these children, and they were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Really amazing. It's a really, really interesting show. So if you haven't watched it, check out that Netflix show. It's called Surviving Death.
But just to quickly, because I've spoken about my start to the paranormal life many times, but I'll just quickly let you know, Ali, that I had experiences as young as 2 or 3, and all through high school I had a certain respect and craved ghost stories, and I was in the library reading books all the time about ghost stories, and finally found the ghost hunting TV shows, and that's how it sort of all started for me. And I think Renata could see things she couldn't explain. Her parents couldn't explain it to her and didn't want to know about it, so she ended up in libraries as well.
I did, and we've already answered you, Peter. We're not going to answer any further.
No. That's the same one I had up before.
Yeah.
Black smoke like apparition last night. My 7-year-old daughter saw it a few days ago. Thoughts?
Ooh. Could be anything. If it's a one-off, I wouldn't worry about it too much. And it very much would be dependent on a number of different things, Jay Lee. Sometimes, and mostly these things don't come out of nothing at all. So maybe someone in the family had been somewhere in particular, or there is something going on that is raising everyone's emotions to a heightened state. If there is anything that is very sort of critical, a bit of a crisis or something can bring energy into your space. So have a think about whether you may have been somewhere, attracted something, talked to someone who may have brought in some different energy. But again, if it's a one-off, it's a rarity. It's one-off. The more you think about it, the more you sort of keep it there. So dispersing it quickly is really important. Bring some really nice music into the house, nice and happy. Open up the doors and windows, air the house really, really well. Make sure there isn't anything sitting in the house that you kind of don't want anymore, or that bears a heavy and dark memory, from someone you hate. Just get rid of it. Don't keep it anymore. And see how you go. Yep, see how you go.
I had a good one. And hello, Sarah from Paranormal Chaos. Thank you for joining us. And somebody asked, who do you ask permission to go into cemeteries? There's normally a custodian or something. If you just look it up on the internet, they will let you know who is the custodian of that particular land. And if you just let them know that you're just going in there to have a look and take some photos, and you're not going to be doing anything disrespectful, they should be okay with it. There's Waverley Cemetery's okay, but they're only open during the day.
So during the day, it's quite interesting.
No.
There are, yes. So sometimes the council, the city council, the town...
I thought you were about to answer Frank.
No, the town council owns the cemetery. Sometimes they are under a trust or a custodian that owns quite a number of cemeteries. And they often send out the security guards at night because they can't be there 24/7. So just make sure that you are talking to the right people and you have permission to be on site.
Well, Frank, you've got a big decision to make, my friend.
I know.
Wow, I would be getting her to the doctor straight away and getting her a checkup from head right down to toe. Get that uterine scan happening and see what little thing you've got growing in there.
I know, right?
Because it could be just about anything.
It could be. It could be like one of those movies, alien
But,
movies.
you know, you've got the choice now of raising an alien baby.
Yeah, you could be famous,
being
Frank.
a dad of the alien baby.
Yeah. You could be on the front of Who magazine. Or Take 5.
Fuck us! Only the best people.
I know, right?
It's going to take me a couple of weeks to get those torches together. I can't give you a price yet because I've got to get the batteries and work out negative. No, see, negative energy is more of a personal perspective. We sort of don't deal with negative energy, so we never have any issues with that. So I'm just trying to get...
Yeah, it's not something you head out to try and engage with, really.
If you concentrate on negativity, then that is what you draw you.
That's right.
So always...
it will follow you from the deepest, darkest bowels of hell. It will turn up at your door when you least expect it. So you just push that shit away.
Oh, have you all seen our latest True Hauntings? With the Tombstone Theatre. It was a cracker. The Human Fly. I do like it. Oh, thank you, Mick, for putting up digital dowsing.
Oh, and yes, and thank you to all of our gorgeous people who have been listening to the True Hauntings podcast. We have reached 10,000 downloads, which is awesome.
Not bad for 13 episodes.
Such a young podcast.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you so very, very much, everyone.
And the Paranormal Awards are back on. Dare we say anything at all?
Yeah, why not? We're already in the shit. Why
so,
not?
Look,
let's not go there. Just to say,
he was under peer pressure, and there was a lot of people complaining. Well, actually, probably not a huge amount, but it's like a lot of people will jump on the bandwagon and not give someone a chance. So he did the awards from a really good place, and he was not trying to be secretive and hiding about it. He just didn't want, because he was affiliated with so many other pages and projects, he didn't want to make it look like there was favoritism in any way. So he wanted people to be unbiased in their choices. Yes, it is a popular award. There is no doubt about it. There are so many fantastic investigators and researchers out there. The scientific ones, people have never heard of, and they're going to be the most amazing people on this earth. The reason why we asked if people would support us in this is that we are trying to raise our profile in social media. So we are trying to bring more people into our community. We love doing what we're doing. We think we offer you something that is good and worthwhile, and we are always honest about our motives of why we're doing things. This is my full-time job, Paranormal World, selling paranormal equipment. This is Renata's full-time job, running tours and doing readings. So if we can get a couple of YouTube channels going, if we can get a group of people supporting us and loving what we're doing, and if that can monetize in some form or other to help us stay full-time paranormal, then we're going to do it. You'd be crazy not to. So we don't do this to disrespect anyone else in the field. We don't do this to say, wow, we are just so good at everything that we deserve every award. It's you guys that nominated us. So we thank you from the bottom of our black little souls for actually thinking we are worthy of being nominated in those awards. So the chance to nominate is still there, if you would like to.
The vote. The chance to vote.
The chance to vote.
The
so
nominations
we have been shortlisted.
Yes.
Right, we have been shortlisted, and I have been shortlisted as Best Female Investigator. We've had the... You're my best psychic medium. The Page... was it Community or what was it? The investigative team. Anne and Renata have been nominated as the best investigative team. The Women of the Worldwide Paranormal has been nominated as best page, and there was a third one. Oh, the Australian Ambassadors Award, which
we're going to have T-shirts made.
It's the most contentious award of them all because there's a lot of misunderstanding around it. It's for those people who have been working and promoting internationally and the work they've done for 2020. It's nothing to do with representing Australia in the future or beyond. It's only for the work that they've done in 2020, raising awareness of the paranormal within Australia and the world. And that was the one we were most passionate about because we've worked very hard at reaching out to teams and podcasts and leaders of various teams, book writers, interviewing people everywhere. So that was the one that means the most to us, to recognise the work we have done in 2020. So to all those people who are getting so upset about it, guys, chill out. It's not that big a deal. There is so much anxiety and stress out there over this. We're happy people. We try to bring laughter to the field, and
it's just interesting that the people that you support and have supported for a really long time then go and shit on top of you.
Yeah. First opportunity.
Excuse me.
But they came onto our page. They came onto our page and shit on us.
On me.
That was the worst thing. It wasn't a public page. It was our business page that they came onto.
Nice.
And anyway, let's not go there. It doesn't matter.
No,
we're not worried about it.
It will. No, we are worried about it because you just spent 5 minutes talking about it. So
I'm just trying to clear it up.
The thing about it is we will put a link up for you on how to vote. There are 18 different categories, and the most important thing is that you need to vote for all 18 categories because it's about all of those categories and about people winning in all of those categories. So you need to really vote across the field because that gives 18 opportunities for people to say hi.
I know, right, Craig?
That they've got a following and that people like them and that people think that they are doing a great job and putting stuff out there. So yeah, go ahead.
And also my persona as a paranormal investigator, like who I am on Oz Paratech page, which is where I sell the equipment, give advice on equipment, which you've seen me do tonight, is a completely different persona to what you see as Anne and Renata. I am so deadly serious about my paranormal investigating, and I am researching and studying and doing all that shit that other people are saying that we're here for the thumbs up and the votes. No. Shits and giggles, apparently. No, we work really hard and we're proud of the work that we do. And look, maybe the paranormal community or some of the paranormal community aren't our people and you guys are our people. You guys are enjoying what we're doing, so we'll create more content for you.
We're here for you guys.
We're here for you.
Yeah.
So
there's no point in trying to convince other people or peers of anything because in any community you will have discontent. But we are actually here for all of you and to answer your questions and to share our knowledge and share the things that we do with you guys. That's why we're here. Our benefit is that we get to go places and we get to use equipment and we get into locations that normally we wouldn't be able to go to. And that's when we get to share with you guys some of the things that occur. It takes a lot of money to do this job, and money that it doesn't come out of thin air.
Thank you for the stars.
Yeah, money that doesn't come out of thin air because research, books, magazines, going to places, buying, all of that sort of stuff. It's not free. No one's giving that to us as a free ride yet. So we are happy to do this. And as long as you guys are happy.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily think they are jealous. It could be an aspect of it, but I think they have a perspective of the seriousness of the paranormal field, and that's fine. Everyone is entitled to their own version of how they think this should be done. But, we are too. So we're just going to keep doing it with
Otherwise,
laughter and love and...
I just want to say one thing. If we weren't serious, if I wasn't serious, I wouldn't be doing this for over 30 years. I would have gone, fuck this, I'm done, 25 years ago. Yeah. So I ain't going anywhere. Try as hard as you like. Staying here.
Thank you for all the beautiful comments coming through. It means the world to us that you guys support us so much. We don't mean to... We're trying not to bang on about it because really it doesn't worry us, but I just feel sorry for the friendships that we seem to have lost over this.
Hello, Shatan.
Shatan! How are you? Now, Shatan interviewed us on her Into the Liminal Abyss, if I remember correctly, which is an American show.
And Shatan, please put up your links right now to all the things that you do so that they're shared here, because there will be people on here at the moment who love UFOs and cryptozoology and all of the other stuff that you do, the paranormal stuff. So please put up a link or two, and certainly that will mean that other people can jump on and check out what you do.
Can we get t-shirts made up with that, Mick?
And our little documentary that we did, our big documentary that we did with Bianca Biassi, that's been something that we've been working on.
Has been nominated for
another award.
3 or 4 now. They've
award.
won 2, and there's another 1 or 2 they've just been nominated for. Oh my God, nominated for so many things. But what blew me away is we were watching Bianca's interview, and there was an American lady and an Australian guy on there who were interviewing her. And before Bianca got a chance, they said, oh, the paranormal investigators were amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I just took a step back because we've had so much hatred sent at us recently and thought, you know what, we did a really good job on that. And when you get to see that, you will see us in the field, not in front of a tour group, but us investigating as paranormal investigators and our thoughts. And I'm super proud of that. And we've been confirmed for a 2nd season. So we're going to be doing more. There is a 2nd season coming of...
And this one's really good. It's got a bit of a twist to it. It's got a bit of a twist.
And there's a really funny scene with Renata in a car, which you can all find out about later. Anyway, we've been banging on for far too long. There we go. There's Shatan. I'm a head writer for Sasquatch GQ magazine. And my podcast is Into the Liminal Abyss. So you'll be able to hear us on there as well. And we've got a couple of big interviews coming up. We're going to be, Friday morning, we're recording an interview with another American and Australian group, which is Uncensored Radio. And we had a hoot with them last time. That was so much fun. And another one big one coming up, Jim Harold. We are going to be on Jim Harold's show. Haters are going to hate us. Anyway, love yous all. I think we've gone over the hour. I'm sorry we banged on for a bit there. I think it was necessary. But thank you for your support. Thank you for the beautiful messages. You've got no idea how much Renata and I, appreciate you guys and the kind words. If you want to leave us a review on our Facebook page saying how much you enjoy what we're doing, and if you want to send us a message saying how we can improve things, let us know, because we are here for you guys.
We're back on Thursday with the tarot, and then catch us next week in Tasmania. Now, we're not quite sure Monday night Q&A. We may be doing it. We may be doing it for some weird-ass place in Tasmania.
With convict history.
Let's see what happens, hey?
All right. Love yous all. See yous on the dark side.
See you on the dark side.
Bye.